All right, everybody. Okies Eden here. The actual Okies Eden. My original website. I can't do lives from my iPhone or my iPad on my other channel yet because I don't have 50 subscribers. I'm working on it. I'm close. But it's only been a little over a week. So I did want to just jump on here real quick and make some announcements. I have a live that is currently being updated or uploaded by YouTube on my Okies Hustle, at Okies Hustle. And it won't let you run another live while something's uploading, I learned today. So I came over to Okies Eden to make some announcements. I have a little scripted thing here so I can nail them all down. I was going to go live tonight at 8, but I have some stuff I have to attend to at 8. So I kind of want to knock this out before then. And just in case, you know, I'm not available soon after. Our weather, again, our weather has been storming and it's just been thunderstorm after thunderstorm, day after day. I'm mowing and weeding and planting and harvesting between the raindrops, basically. Tomorrow evening on Okies Hustle is going to be a video about 10 minutes long on mistakes I made early on in my Okies Eden account, as far as I was growing and doing pretty well for the first couple of weeks and gaining subscribers and hours and stuff. I did a couple dumb mistakes, you know, not knowing any better because I didn't understand YouTube's at that point. So I made a couple of mistakes. And then I figured out, oh, hey, how are you? Like the live if you don't mind. So I made a couple of mistakes, and then what happened was it hurts your views. And then what I did was, you can find ways to correct, hey Ricardo, you can find ways to correct your problems. So I went in, did a couple corrective things inside of YouTube, and then my views and hours and everything started going back up. So it just takes work. Hey Natty, how are you? You know, it takes a little bit of work here and there. Hold on one second, Natty. Hey Chef Zed. Natty, I just gave you a wrench. Chef Zed. Chef Zed, I just gave you a wrench. There's some people here I've never seen before, so if you don't mind, if you see something and I don't catch it right away, please go ahead and take them out of the picture. But anyways, welcome to my Okies Eden. This is my original website. Like I said, I can't do lives on my phone or iPad without 50 subscribers. Thank you, Natty. So I can't, you know, you have to have 50 subscribers. I don't have that yet on that, so I have to do it on my, so I have one uploading according to YouTube, so it won't let me do another one on my laptop, so I'm doing it here. I made some announcements earlier, Chef Zed, so you're not bored. I'll do them quickly. So Chef Zed and Nicola recipes, I believe. We're going to try doing a live here in a few weeks. Oh, well, thank you, Natty. That's great. We're going to try to do a cooking video, the three of us. We're going to try to set up doing a collaboration live where it's Chef Zed, help me out, Chef Zed. I just lost it. Nicola Recipes and myself. We're going to pick a dish, a simple dish. We're all going to do it according to the ingredients we can get in our respective countries. So Chef Zed is from Africa. She's going to use her spicing and her technique. Nicola is from Italy. She's going to use her spicing and my technique. I am from backwoods southern Oklahoma, so I'm going to use backwoods southern Oklahoma techniques. And we're going to cook at the same time, and then we're going to, while it's cooking, we're going to be taking questions, and then we're going to try our food at the end. We also might beforehand figure out how, like, would Chef Zed cook it, how I would cook it, and how Nicola would cook it. And then we would swap. I would cook it the Italian way. Zed would cook it my way, the American way, and Nicola would cook it the African way. So that would be pretty cool. So we're going to try to change that up. And then we'll try a different dish that's a little more complex. We're going to start with something easy. I'm an amateur. I am much more amateur than those two. I cook every day. I love cooking. I try different things. I cook to change. I take a good recipe I like, and then I always change it up using different spicing that I like and cook times and different flavors that I like to see how it comes out. Is how I do it. I don't always cook specifically by a certain recipe, but we're going to go by a recipe, and then we're going to compare. I have a couple more jokes coming out till Sunday. I'm trying to do 5 in a row on Okies Eden. I'm going to do 5 jokes in a row, Wednesday through Sunday. Monday and Tuesday will be off days because those are days I'm editing and filming and doing other things. And then Saturday evenings, I'll try to do a short, or not a short, but a video on my Okies Hustle channel on YouTube Growth on stuff I see from this channel and ideas I have and just comparisons, and then we can talk about it on lives. Does it work? Doesn't it work? And I hope other people show up and give their opinions because we all want to grow. I am not the end all when it comes to YouTube stuff. I hardly understand it myself. But as I learn stuff, I do a video on it and I tell people what went right, what went wrong, so they know. Like I said, I found out today, if you guys didn't know, if you do a live and it uploads, sometimes it takes a few hours depending on how busy YouTube is, but it says 3 hours, I think, is the minimum. But sometimes it goes 6 or 7 hours before it finishes. It doesn't let you really do another YouTube live until that one is uploaded. Because I had trouble uploading one of mine today, and it said, well, you have one other one that's pending and it's uploading in YouTube, so it's not going to let you. So that's just something I found out today. So that is literally time sensitive. It's literally real-time information. So if you are uploading lives and you have a problem, just check and see if the other one you've uploaded is done being uploaded, or is it still uploading. If it's still uploading, it might not let you finish. Just some information. Let's see. So my jokes. Tomorrow night I have one on Okies Hustle just dropping. It's about the mistakes I've made in the past on this channel. When I was starting to grow, I did a couple things, made a mistake. I didn't realize it. I Googled it. I researched it, found out what I did, fixed it, did what they told me to do to fix it, and I started going up again. And I've been using this Okies Eden as a test kitchen anyways. So I'm constantly changing my times. I'm changing hashtags, any of the SEO stuff they talk about. All these gurus talk about SEO stuff. It affects how it affects your channel and stuff. I've been testing all of that stuff. So like I've told my other channel, if you look at my videos and you see view amounts, you'll see it's doing this. Because if I start to head up, I see if I change something, does it make it tank or does it make it go higher? And what I mean by changing stuff is that I might change the thumbnail, I might change the hashtag, I might change a keyword, I might change the little picture in the front of like a short. Yeah, a lot of the SEO stuff, it doesn't work. That's why I'm doing a video next week. I have some ideas on, it's just my thoughts as my 60-year-old mind works. I have some ideas as to when it works, why it doesn't work, why it does work, and for certain situations. And I'm going to be discussing that in that video. And also I'm doing a thing on release times, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Yes, you're right. You're right, Natty. Exactly. Because I want to tell you something. When I did I did my intro video, and I did my second video. I think was research. Second or third video was my research video, and I talked about hashtags and keywords and all that stuff. I'm going to hold this up for a second. I know Chef Zed saw this earlier. That is just a list I ran from. That's from actually YouTube. And I put them into, I first asked about them in ChatGPT or vidIQ, one of those. When they came out, you'll see my handwritten numbers are next to them, like 2,500, 2.5K or 1.5 million. Those are the number of videos that have been using those specific hashtags. So of course, when you have, 3 million hashtags being used in videos, it's a trending, current, good hashtag. So I've been using that in my jokes, and they've been doing pretty well, very well. So when I went in today, so 2 weeks ago when I ran this list, those were the numbers. So I like to do I do research every few days when I have time to check the keywords, the titles, the hashtags, to make sure they make sense, that they're still trending on YouTube. If I'm looking stuff up and they're not coming up, they're not trending. I look on Google, if they're not coming up, they're not trending. And then if you go into one of your old videos and just go into the title or description and type in the actual hashtag, it'll show you how many videos and how many channels are actually using those hashtags. So I did that today. And when I did that, I was shocked. Out of this list, you'll see red circles are the ones still being kind of trending. But then I have like one here towards the bottom in a black line, move up to this one in a black line. Those aren't even showing up really anymore, like no trending whatsoever. So that's why it's important to do that, because if you're using the same, hashtags from 3 weeks ago, they may not be trending anymore. That's why it's important every 3 or 4 or 5 days. Make sure what you're using for your SEO stuff is still current. Natty, does your video stay on standstill for views after a few days? So, Natty, yes. What I found early on when YouTube was trying to figure me out or figure out what I'm trying to do, my videos would start going up and then stop. And then it was, I'm no kidding, it was like an EKG in a hospital and you're on life support. It would go up and then flatline, like you were in no pulse, no heartbeat, and you were just gone. Which I guess is common from what I understand. And then the more videos I posted in a specific, very pinpoint niche, like dad jokes or whatever, I tried to stay right in there. Then I started noticing they would push it, and then it might flatline a little bit, and then a day or two later, it might bump a little bit and get another 100 or 200 views, and then flatline. And since then, let's see, that one's been going since February, so it's almost been 4 months on my this channel. What I'm starting to see, what I've been seeing lately, is not so much a huge bump in the beginning. Then now quite a few of mine are doing a bump, and then they slow, but then over the next 4 or 5 days, I'll get 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. I've gotten over 6,200 views, I think, on one now. And it'll just be a constant slope up. At that point, I went in, I threw a wrench in the works, believe it or not, because I wanted to see if I can affect it in a bad way. So I did. And I've been messing with my release times. I'm doing a video next Saturday on release times, how I figure out how to release versus how some other people might release. And then you can do it however you want. I'm just going to give, I've done it 2 or 3 ways. I'm going to give my viewpoint on 2 or 3 different ways. And then people can just take that information and try it. I'm not a guru. I'm not an expert. I'm not even close. I'm just giving people what I've seen, and I'll tell them if it passed or failed. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to literally point blank, this worked for me, this didn't. You can try it. I'm not going to tell you it's going to make you 1 million views. I'm going to tell you this could work for you, or this might fail. And I'm going to be sharing that in my lives over the next few weeks, definitely on those channels. Monday or Wednesday of next week, depending. I have my grandson Tuesday night overnight, so I won't be able to do it Tuesday. Yes, I'm experimenting to figure it out. That was one of my goals for Okies Eden, was to start it, see how it works. Then I changed it up a little bit using shorts to see how they worked, because I started with long form and then I went to shorts, trying to understand all the SEO stuff that goes behind both. So this is not my channel where if I get monetized on it, great. I probably never will on Okies Eden. This is my test kitchen. I use this as my test kitchen. And I'm going to be making some changes coming up, because I'm going to try something else drastically on Okies Eden. And then I use that information on that Okies Hustle website. So I'm going to be showing some videos where I take snapshots and excerpts from my actual data. It will not be blurred out like the gurus do. It's going to be honest to goodness, dates, times, what video it was, and I'll tell you what happened. You'll see it on my chart, on my on the chart, on their analytics. I'm gonna actually snapshot it and put it in the video. And like I said, some of those guys blur their information out, so you know it's not theirs. Why would you blur it out if you have your channel information and it's doing so well? Wouldn't you want people to know that? So I'll show where it's been successful and where it has just bombed. I'm not afraid to do that. I'd rather have honesty. I'd rather people be honest than be passive aggressive or lie to me. I mean, in my life, exactly. I'd rather somebody tell me to my face what they think of me than lie to me. Just, you know, we can be friends or we don't have to be friends. If you don't want to be my friend, tell me you don't want to be my friend and I'll move on. I mean, that's just, I'm an older guy, so that's how it always was, you know. I have a few friends that are very close that would do anything for me. I would do anything for them to help them. And the rest is just, I guess, white noise. So with that said, then what I did was so I'm going to be doing the video tomorrow night on Okies Hustle. That's just a quick 10-minute video. And then I'm doing a couple analogy videos on Okies Hustle, because I've been trying to, yes, Chef Zed, that is correct. And what happens with shorts, understand the shorts you do, if you do a short video, it does not count against your time. It won't go to your YouTube hours. In order to monetize using shorts, you have to have 1,000 subs, 10 million views on shorts. On regular length videos with lives and long form videos, you have to have 1,000 and 4,000. So you have to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 views. Right, exactly, Natty. In order to get monetized. That's why I'm doing shorts. That's why I don't care about Okies Eden. If it's never going to get 10 million views. It just, unless one went hugely viral, it'll never get 10 million views. I am not that funny. I am not that interesting. So it'll never get 10,000 views. That's just truth. I'm doing it for a test kitchen. I'm doing it to try things. And I'm going to make a huge change here probably next month, because I want to try something else and use that as a feeler gauge kind of to see what's going on. Thank you. Epic dad jokes. I've just done comedy, stand-up, stupid things my whole life. So I just enjoy it. It you know, you have to do something that kind of keeps you sane in this world with everything going on. And dad jokes and comedy and stupid puns is something I've always done. So that is going to be what's happening. And then, like I said, we're going to do Chef Zed and me and Nicole are going to do a cooking video. Um, Here is one other. I'm gonna touch on this really quick. I don't want to drag this out too long, but I've been here since February now specifically on this channel. I started my other channel in late May. I started the other one in late May. So it's been like a week and a half. Yes, watch hours, Chef. Yes. And I've noticed in a couple instances where somebody might not have agreed with something I might have said or whatever, they're no longer subscribing or they no longer comment. And I don't know if you guys have faced that or not. You know, they friend you, then it's almost like high school. If you remember high school, I mean, this year is my 40th anniversary, or 40th would be my 40th reunion for high school. And sometimes on YouTube or Facebook, I feel like I'm back in high school. If you do something that doesn't, or say something, or act a certain way, if you're having a bad day or something, and they take that like, that is you, that is your whole auras. Oh, I didn't know you were like that. You know, and all of a sudden you watch certain people just like pull away, and it's like, my dad always told me years ago, it's drama. You're right, it's drama, and it's sad. My dad always said, always give somebody a second chance because you don't know what they have going on that day. You don't know what they're dealing with. I've had days where I've had some really serious issues going on, and I still try to do a live and try to stay upbeat. And I might say something or do something that might be off color by, because I might be frustrated or something. And I shouldn't have done a live sometimes at those points. But when people shut you out for that, it's like, I'm almost to the point where I'm like, I'm glad they don't respond. I'm glad they don't watch anymore, because if they're not your friend, I want people that like my content, that comment on my content. You have to understand, everybody has a bad day. And like I said, sometimes if somebody cuts you off in traffic and the first thing you get mad is, and you go into this road rage and you kind of get angry. And it's kind of funny because it's like, you don't know if they just had a death in the family. Chef said, Okies Eden. Just literally on Instagram and Facebook, Okies Eden. Oh, hey, Rustic Rich. Yeah, Rustic Rich is awesome. If you don't follow him, go follow him. He makes awesome music. He's really cool. I just saw, hold on, let me check yours. Rustic Rich is Barlow. I am judged on here by some. They come and they go. Almost. Yeah, it is a bear. It is. Oh, Brian. I always forget your name's Brian. My bad. I got to remember that. If I don't call you Brian, I call you Rustic Rich. Forgive me, I'm terrible with names. I gave that story the other day. I used to coach Little League Baseball for 5 years. I knew my son's name. The other kids I called by their position. The parents thought that was hilarious. I would yell out, hey, first base, move this way. Or hey, second base, shortstop, move this way. I've been terrible with names my entire life. But yes, yeah, you get ostracized if you know. Okay, I'll try to remember Brian. But yeah, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that, but you kind of get ostracized or set aside by some because they tell you, they act like, oh, what you did is unforgivable. You know what? If I did was unforgivable, there are things then we're all unforgivable. I mean, we've all said or done something in our lives that we regret, we apologize for, we feel, I said a couple things. Literally on my channel the other day. I didn't know I said. I was in such a mindset. I had a bad night with certain things. I had tornadoes going on. I had sirens going off. I was in and I did a live anyways. I tried to do a live. And I've kind of been ostracized by a few people for that. And they're going to come back and they'll probably watch this and they'll know who they are. And I hope they do know who they are. And those kind of people, they don't bother me. I feel sad. I feel sorry for them because they're not perfect. But if you think you're perfect, you're not. I'll tell you that much right now. None of us are perfect. On this side of eternity, we are just human. You're going to say, you're going to do, you're going to act a certain way that you regret later, and you can apologize. Some people will not accept that. They'll be like, well, wow, I didn't realize he talked like that, or I didn't realize he would say something like that, or I didn't realize he would do something like that. Well, just think for a minute. Just stop and think for a minute. In your 50 or 60 or 40 years, have you ever been angry? Have you ever been so frustrated you might have done something or said something that you regret? And how do you feel if you went to somebody and you apologized to their face for something and they refused to accept that because what you did was wrong, even though they've done wrong their entire life? Those kind of people, honestly, they can take their subscription from my channel, they can take their likes and follows, and they can leave. I've already unhooked from some. And because I'm not dealing with that. I don't deal with drama. I am Okies Eden. My name is Jason. You'll see me make mistakes. I have blooper videos. I might say something off color. I might get angry. I try not to do it online, but you're right. No one is perfect. Rustic or Brian is. I'm getting ready to do more lives. I know, Brian. I'm really looking forward to your lives. Chef Zed did a live. Nicola's recipes. I think she's doing a live either tomorrow or Sunday. And then me and Zed and Nicola are hopefully doing a cooking live. And then Brian and I someday we need to do some kind of a live. You and I. You can play your guitar, and I'll watch and talk. I showed Rust. Did I show you my guitar, Brian? I got my guitar the other day, and I've been plinking around on it. But I'm not a guitar. I took 2 years of guitar lessons from a guy. So like reading tablature, I don't read music. I hate reading music, but I know 10 chords on the guitar, and I just plunk around. Brian has some really good stuff, a good sound. To me, it's, he can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but when I hear his audio, it sends me back to when they, early on, the way they did their, it has a hollow, it's hard to explain, but it sounds to me like some 50s and 60s music, old school music where it doesn't echo, but it's got a hollow, and it's such a cool sound for an acoustic guitar, in my opinion. So I don't know what he calls that or how he sets that up on his, I'm sure he's got amps and everything, and might even have some pedals, I don't know. But he also does carving. Brian does carving. He does walking sticks and stuff, which is just wild. Natty, hooked on going live. Yeah, lives are fun. Once you get the right crowd and stuff, and those that aren't going to judge you for making a mistake, you can have a lot of fun. You can have a lot of fun with them. And I'm going to start doing, that's what I'm going to start doing more. I noticed, so here's what happened. The reason I haven't done lives on my Okies Eden is because I should have been, because I was using it for my test stuff. I did a couple lives, and I even used like some jokes. It tanked my views on my joke for like a week. It tanked them. That's the only thing I changed. The only thing, I did a couple lives, and I even threw in some jokes. But the lives, I talked about other topics, so it didn't stick to the YouTube niche about, just jokes or dad jokes or whatever my niche is. And it tanked them, and it took me a couple days where I just stopped everything. I just stopped posting. That's why there was 2 or 3 days I didn't post anything. And then I just relaxed. I went on to my joke, like dad jokes, people that do dad jokes, different. And I went in and I commented. I watched full videos of these guys doing stand-up stuff that are in my niche. And within a couple days, I then loaded another 2 videos and they started going way up again. And then I did another post and it went down again. So yeah, it does. So that's why I haven't done a live. But at this point in my life, I don't have to have YouTube. I do YouTube because I like it. So I said, you know what? I don't care if YouTube tanks my views on my jokes. If I want to do a live, I'm going to do a live. If people want to watch the live, they'll come talk to me and watch the live, and I can interact with those that like my stuff, and I'll go visit their lives. I visited Zed's yesterday. Chef did one yesterday. And I'll stay as long as I can. If I can't stay, the other night, what's today, Friday? Wednesday night I had my grandson overnight. I babysit my grandson once a week overnight. And I forget which video I watched. They were live. And what I did was I watched it and I responded as I could. But then my grandson had to have some medication he takes for his issues. And then he had to go to bed. So I got him ready for bed and fed him. And it's a 1 or 2 hour process. I left that live running all the time. And then I went back to it afterwards and made a couple comments. So that whoever video that is, that gets 1 or 2 hours from just me watching. It gets the live. It gets the time for their analytics. So that's what I try to do for people that do a live, is even if I can't make it, I might say, hey, I have to run for a few minutes. That means I have an issue or something I have to take care of. If I can leave my phone, I just leave it on their channel so it continues to run the live. I have a TV in the master bedroom. During the day, I will find whoever did a live the night before, if somebody did a live the day before. I will put their live on in my master bedroom during the day, turn it on, let it run, because I'm not using it. And then I'll go do whatever I have to do outside, and it'll watch their entire live and give them their hours. Oh, Natty, I'm from Oklahoma. We don't take showers. I'm just kidding. That's just an Oklahoma joke. Really? Exactly. Just let it roll off and drive on. Anyways, that's enough negativity. That's negative. Like I said, there's those that are doing that to me. I'm not responding to their. I don't even. I've taken out I've taken off the bell, the notification bell. I undid that. I'm not going to like their stuff. I'll remain subscribed to them because I don't hate them. I don't dislike them. I still want them to have my subscription because they're a person, they're a human. I subscribe to them for a reason. I'm not going to take that away. I'm not going to bring myself to their level. But if they don't want to follow me, that's fine. They don't have to. Then I'll just move on. I'll go somewhere else. They can keep my subscription. I'm not going to take that away because I'm not going to go that far with it. Yeah, it's so strange. But like I said, I guess it's the rules are for thee, but not for me type thing. If they do something, it's okay. Follow them at all costs. But if you make one little trip up, then you're going to hear about it. So again, I just want to get off that topic. I just wanted to put it out there that they know who they are. They can deal with it. They can just know I don't care. And I'm moving on. I think it's hilarious because it's childish. I had an issue today with somebody. I didn't post on Facebook. I called the person and talked to them. And we said things that needed to be said, and the conversation was over. I'm not going to be passive aggressive. If I'm 60 years old, most of my life is gone. I am not, tiptoeing through the tulips anymore. We say, as you get older, you start to say, there's no more filter. I'm going to say what I want to say. If you don't like it, then don't follow me, don't subscribe. I don't care. I don't need YouTube to survive. I have a retirement. We have jobs. I do this because I did it as a challenge to see if I can get monetized. That's why I'm doing this. So with that said, Natty Homemaker and Rustic and Chef Zed, one of my goals is I still want to do, I don't want to start a third channel. It's just too much work having even two channels is a lot more work. I wanted a channel on YouTube growth is why I started Okies Hustle. So I wanted that because once I understand something in the algorithm, I try to tell people that so it can help them. I really want to try to help others get, if I never get monetized, I don't care. It's a challenge. Hopefully I get there. But if I can help somebody else get there and then they can come back and say, hey, because you helped me get, I really enjoy that your stuff because you helped me get monetized. That would make me feel so good to help somebody. I like helping people. Probably everybody on here right now likes helping people. I want to get back more into my gardening. I kind of stepped away from that quite a bit because it was messing up the algorithm on my Okies Eden. But now that I use Okies Eden for my test kitchen, I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm doing gardening videos too. I stopped doing them because I tried to narrow it because everybody's like, oh, niche, narrow, 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 make it real like a laser. So you're going to start to see on Okies Eden, still jokes. I love jokes, okay? If you ever sat in the room with me and my son, I'm amateur. My son grew up with me being this way. He took it pro level. So when we're together at a party or just to get together for family, it's just one pun, one dad joke, one thing after another, after another. So this is really who I am. I dad joke all the time. So much so I get people that are just like, they're tired of it. They just walk away because they know that's what I'm going to do. They're careful about what they say because they know me or my son or my daughter, we're going to say a dad joke. Gardening and jokes at the same time. I tried that. I did that. If you look back, some of the original videos I did were, I figured out that I was trying to run the two niches together and it kept really being bothersome. But at the same time, I would add jokes. Yes, they are chefs. They're in my blood. They are. And they would do okay, but they would never do great. And then as soon as I stopped gardening, I pretty much privatized all of those videos. And I specifically just went, Chris, I looked you up 2 days ago. Everybody, welcome Chris. And I looked you up and because I haven't seen you in so long or seen anything. And I haven't seen any new posts. Yeah, follow Chris. Follow Chris if you can. Here, hold on, Chris. Chris, let's see. Chris, you are given a wrench so you can look people's stuff up. Follow Chris. Chris does telephone stuff. He does telephone polls. He does all these power polls stuff. He's walking through the woods all the time, and then he's doing stuff on location all the time where he's at. Oh, okay. I'll go back after this is done. I'm gonna go back and see what's going on because I have a second channel for like YouTube growth nonsense. But I came back to this channel. I've only been doing jokes on this channel, but I was just telling everybody. I want to get back to my gardening video. I love my garden stuff, and that's my main hobby in my life that keeps me sane. Oh, thank you, Natty. Thank you for doing that for Chris. That's awesome. Chris is a great guy. Chris has really good lives. He's funny. Chris is, hey, Rustic, you know what? Why didn't I add you already? All right. Rustic Rich, or his name is Brian, has a wrench also, or should have. Yeah, it'll come up. He's just him. He's just who he is. So he'll do from his hotel, he'll do a live from his hotel room and then show the weather outside and just talk about stuff and take questions and he just does what's on his mind. It's real reality TV with Chris. If you're going to see him just talk about what he wants to talk about, takes questions, always friendly, always welcomes you, always follows back, tries to hit your lives when he can, but he's busy. I didn't realize, Chris, is it a better job at least? I hope it's a better job for you. Yeah, you're gonna like Natty. You would Chef Zed, Rustic Rich is Brian is his name. He does guitar stuff. Awesome. Chef Zed's cooking is awesome. These are just some real people. I follow these people for a while. They follow me for a while, so we all know each other pretty well, and they're all been great. We try to follow each other's lives and comment and interact with everybody. But getting back real quick, I'm going back a little bit. That's kind of why I did the whole what's his name? Who did Pulp Fiction? Who did the movie Pulp Fiction? What was his name? He did Pulp Fiction. What is his name? He always does homages. He pays homage to. Hey, Azuka, how are you? Azuka Kitchen's another good one. No, not Samuel L. Jackson, not the actor in it, the director. Who was the director? Oh my goodness. Anyways, he does movies where he pays homage to things. I did a video the other day that paid homage, however you say it, to my past videos. It was a joke. It was my used car joke. I bought a used car recently. Yes, thank you, Natty. Quentin Tarantino. He does that a lot in his movies. He will throw these little Easter eggs in there that you got to follow, and you'll catch things, and you got to watch them over and over again. But anyways, I paid homage the other day to my older channel because I said I bought a used car. It's a DeLorean, but I'm only going to drive it from time to time. I was just using that as a segue to eventually talking about I'm going back to doing some of my, I'm using this as a test kitchen, like I said, versus my Okies Growth channel, the Okies Hustle channel. And so I don't care if this channel ever gets monetized. I don't care. I'm using it to test things. So since I'm doing that, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to start showing my harvests. I'm going to do lives from the garden, and then I'll edit them and post them on my other page so people can see them over there. But I have to harvest this week. I have to harvest this weekend. I got to harvest potatoes. I got to harvest green beans. Next week I have to harvest my radishes, kale. I'm behind my. I didn't realize kale grew that fast. Azuka, you now have a wrench, so you are also a moderator. So I wanted to do, like I said, I wanted to do my lives for my other channel, but I don't have enough viewers. You have to have 50 or more. So since this is a test one anyways, I'm going to do my lives over here because I can do them right off my cell phone. I can take my cell phone out to my garden on Monday, film it while I'm talking. Hey, Nicola, we were just talking about you too. We talk about everybody here. It was good. What we talked about was fine. I'm trying to give you a, whoops. Nicola keeps moving. There we go. Nicola has been given a blue wrench as a moderator. So anyways, enough about me. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to start showing more stuff from my garden again, start doing my gardening stuff. And then this is where I'm going to, Chef Zed and Nicola and I are going to be doing a live cooking competition someday where we're cooking the same dish while we're on a live together. And then we'll be able to announce that and push that throughout the YouTube universe so people can come and watch us cook the same dish from 3 different countries, 3 different cooking philosophies, and so you can all come and watch it. Does anybody have any questions for me personally as Okies Eden? I live in southern Oklahoma. I'm in thunderstorm, tornado, microburst season. If you have any questions about my garden or me, if I can answer it, I will, as much as I can. There are some things personally I won't mention, but I can go to a certain extent. So if you have a question, let's see. That's great. I'm glad you guys are all subscribing to each other. Oh, one more thing I do want to mention. When this live is done, go to the comments below, or I think you can even do it now. Go to the comments below, put in your channel, what your channel's about. When people come back and visit this live or leave a comment, they can read the other comments and they might follow you or make a comment on your comment or interact with you in some way, shape, or form. It's another way to get your channel out there. So post it down below so people can just see it. It's out there for everybody to see. And I try to mention that on every live. And then I'm going to go down later and I'm going to put down what my channels are about, this channel and my other channel. And then you'll get comments or likes and somebody trying to follow you. It's just another marketing idea. And then, yes, you know, Brian, yes, we are. Okay, Chef Zed has a wish. That's cool. Yeah, get to Chris. Chris is cool. Chris is great. How do I stay safe in such a... it's all missed me. I have watched the activity. I've seen it in the sky moving through the air. The way I look at it is the chances are so minute for my little house in this huge country to get hit. If it hits, no, Natty, we don't. Anybody, if you know Oklahoma and Texas have very weird soil. It's like most of it, or not, at least southern Oklahoma and most of they call it a black gumbo is the nickname for it. It is like a sponge. So if you have a basement, when it absorbs water, it expands so quick and so forcefully, it's almost like frost up north. It will crack and collapse basements. So they don't do basements down here. Yes, Natty, yeah, I lived in upstate New York. I've lived out near Buffalo. I lived out near Albany and Troy, New York. I lived out in by Utica and Syracuse. So we always had basements, but just down here, the soil's not conducive to it. So they don't do it. And they build so many houses, honestly, it's quicker for them to just drop a slab on the ground and build a house on it. It's cheaper because a lot of people are trying to get to Texas. There's so many people moving to Texas. They're just building houses. That's why one of the reasons we got out of there is just we had to get out of there. You get high. You've had 60, 70, 80 mile an hour winds. You have some damage and stuff, and I just go out and fix it. Tree damage, you have stuff falling around you and lightning and strikes and everything. But I don't live my life worrying about when I'm going to get sucked up in a tornado. If it happens, it happens. And you have shelters. I don't have one here. Eventually, I will put one in. But you can have shelters and stuff. Let's see. Yeah, you have basements there. Oh, let's see. Your wish is that you could close your eyes and open them on your garden so I can harvest green beans. So, believe it or not, Chef, believe it or not, I scared the poo out of my pants. So last year, 2024, I've always had gardens, little small gardens, herbs and maybe some potatoes, maybe some green beans. Last year we had a tornado. My son lives about 2 miles as the crow flies from me. We knew there was tornadoes touching down in the area, and we watched the cyclonic activity in the clouds pass between our homes. It was up in the sky. It hadn't touched down yet. So we knew one was coming. And then we found out shortly after that, I had to go over there at 11 p.m. to babysit my grandson because my son got called into work. He's a firefighter, paramedic. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Uno momento, por favor. My phone just told me it's at 20%. So it is dying on me. Give me 1 second. Can everybody see me now? There. Sorry about that. Get that out of my eyes. Whew. Try to give me some light here. I took out the ring light, so I don't need the sunglasses because I have a headache and the ring light just gets to my eyes. No, I didn't have to. Let's see. But anyways, it took the about 6 miles east of me is our local grocery store. Wiped it out, took it out, took out part of the old folks home, the retirement center, took out the hospital, took out Carl Jr.'s, which was unfortunate. Took out a lot of stuff. So that's when I said, you know what? We have to drive 30 miles south or north for vegetables and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm going to grow my own vegetables because I'm just not going to, I'm not going to be dependent on a grocery store. So that's what I did. That's why I grow so much food now. Because potatoes I can harvest and store in here. I can grow potatoes indoors. I can grow them outdoors. They can grow in rocks. So, but what I was getting at with Chef Zed, she mentioned the green beans. So I grew, this year is the first time I grew pole beans. I usually grow bush beans. So you don't need to stake bush beans or put them out next to a fence to grow. They grow up and you go just walk out and harvest. Well, this year I decided, since I have 120 foot of fence around the garden, I'll just plant pole beans along each part. So now I have pole beans. So I told Chef Zed next week when I do my garden harvest video, I'll have, yes, I would move there and be your gardener. I'd love to be a gardener. I am a gardener now for free. If you pay me, I'll do it. But anyways, I was just outside earlier because I've expanded the garden. I took the fence down between the extension, took the posts out, rehammered in the posts, and I'm resetting the new fence. So while I was doing that, I walked by my pole beans and I couldn't believe it. I had pole beans sitting there staring at me. And I say had because it's past tense. I ate them. They were really good. So next week I will be harvesting some pole beans, which to me is really cool. But who has any other questions? Any other questions? Like I said, I'm in southern Oklahoma. Tornadoes happen. I look at it like this. Midwest and some of southern states get tornadoes. California, the West, earthquakes, devastating earthquakes. Florida, Texas, Louisiana, they get hurricanes. Everybody has some kind of severe weather. You just deal with the weather in your region. The chipmunks get into it. Yeah, chipmunks can be a problem. They get into everything, and you can't keep them out. You can try. My mother and father-in-law up in New York, they have trouble with chipmunks. And it doesn't matter if you use chicken wire. Oh, they have lights. You can put out fake animals like an owl or something. They don't care. They learn. What are some other questions anybody would have for the one and only Okies Eden? Yeah, they're brat. Oh, they are. Yeah, that would be awesome. Um, I have some stuff I wouldn't mind putting music to, Brian. I have some stuff I've written in the past. Maybe I'll send you some stuff and see if you want to just put it to music. I don't care. I don't want anything for it. It's my thoughts or something I've written down that, could go to music. Um, I'll send it to you, and then if you want to try putting it to music, just let me know, and I'd like to listen to it. No strings attached. It's yours. I give it to you. You have it. It's yours. It's just thoughts out of this 60-year-old mush that I call a brain. Garden party. Garden party. I listen to 50s and 60s music. Was it Ricky? Who did garden? I went to a garden party to reminisce with my old friends. I have that on my iHeartRadio. It's one of the ones that keep showing up because I love that song. I went to a garden party. I can't remember. I thought it was Ricky Nelson, but maybe not. But yeah, Chef said that would be a party. I mentioned this the other day and see if anybody would be interested in this. In late July, there you go. Well, it's not a song per se. It's just some thoughts. I write everything down. So, but what I would really love if Brian would be up to this. Oh, it's no business, Brian. If I send you something and you use it and it becomes successful, it's yours. I don't need anybody's money. I don't need any fame. You can use it and it's yours. I would love to hear something of mine put to music. That's all I need, honestly. But Brian, while I'm talking to you, is there a way? Are you able to do? And I would love to do this, and it would take some doing. But I would love if you could advertise maybe a bonfire live, where you had a bonfire out in your backyard or somewhere in the woods camping, and then you could play some music and then take questions and then play another song. I think that would be a really cool live. I would watch that for hours. To me, that's relaxing. I like bonfires. I like folky country type music. Your voice is really cool. Your sound. Is that something you would do as a live? I'd be really interested if you would want to do a bonfire live where it was just you with your camera on, playing music, and then taking questions or whatever. I mean, I have a guitar, and I can pluck around a little bit with the guitar and make it make noise, but I don't play. I mean, I can't play. I used to be able to play. So I'm going to name some songs. These are what I used to be able to play. I could play both the solo and the rhythm guitar, Brian. Oh, cool. I took lessons for 2 or 3 years. I had an electric guitar, and I had this guy that was in a local band. He taught me how to just read tablature. I would give him a song each week, and then he would teach me that song when I went back. He'd have the tablature all laid out for me. Then we would go through the song, and then I would play the rhythm. He'd play the solo, and then if I could do the solo, if it wasn't a difficult one, then I would go back and I would do the solo. And we did that each week for 2 or 3 years. So here's my songs. Here's the songs I played. This is only some of them. I did Jailhouse Rock, Elvis Presley, because I love the guitar solo on that. We did Same Old Song and Dance. That was by, they did Dream On, Steven Tyler. Detroit Rock City. I could do both the rhythm and the solo because they weren't that hard. But Detroit Rock City by Kiss. I think we did Annie's Song by John Denver. I did Boy, what were some of the other ones we did? Oh, Jimi Hendrix. What was the one there? Manic Depressive. We did that. That's a really cool guitar song. We did that. And probably like 20 others. I could play with no music, no nothing. I could just sit down with my guitar, play, and I could run through that whole thing. And my son played drums. He took drum classes. So we could actually sit there, and him and I, and he'd play drums. I had a room set up, an acoustic room in the basement where we could play music, and then he'd play drums to all my songs. We'd sit there and just play along. And then for some reason I gave it up. I don't remember why. I think I just got old and cranky. That was back in 2000. That was back in 2004. And I hadn't really picked up one since. And then after watching Brian, Rustic Rich, after watching Rustic Rich, the first time I heard him on YouTube, because my grandson, special needs grandson, I was listening to him one night, and for some reason my grandson smiled. He liked it. So I started listening to Brian and really enjoyed his music. And so does my grandson. So I listened to Rustic Rich, Brian, quite often. Like the other night with my grandson, I watched a few of his videos. And let's see, Chef said, zodiac sign. I believe I am January. I believe I'm Aquarius. So yeah, so Natty, what I was getting at was, since I saw Brian doing that and the way my grandson reacted, I thought, you know what, I have some spare time every once in a while and I miss it. So I went to, you're gonna laugh, Brian's gonna laugh, because he probably has like, you know, a Fender or something like that. It was literally a guitar from Walmart. It was $79. It was the guitar, the bag, a pick, and whatever. And it's just a simple 6-string guitar. I don't know if Aquarius are good people or not. Hey, introvert, love your stuff. Hey, introvert, I'm gonna give you, hold on. I'm gonna add introvert. Introvert from Alaska. She's awesome. If you can follow Introvert in Alaska, you want to see, I mean, I love scenery. That's one thing I love in life. I love sunsets and sunrises. I love seeing my garden as it grows. She's in Alaska. She keeps posting these videos with this freaking mountainous, these ranges in Alaska with all the snow caps on them. And it's just crazy. But yeah, if you can follow her, she's awesome. Oh, so I've mentioned this in other videos. I work outside a lot, and down in Oklahoma it's sunny, and I have this ring light I finally got. It gives me headaches if I have it on too long. So I just put sunglasses on, and I did it for my videos, for my joke videos. It seemed to take off. And it was I guess my claim to fame was the backwards hat and stupid sunglasses. I don't even wear sunglasses driving. I don't wear them outside mowing. I rarely wear them. I wear them when I get a headache, and I've had a headache all day. But Introvert in Alaska, she's great. If you can follow her, her videos are awesome. I gotta watch, she's got a new one out. I gotta watch, I meant to watch it last night, just didn't get to it, but I'm watching it tonight for sure. Yeah, it is. Yeah, they call it your character, or your, what do you call it? You want to create a brand. It's your brand, you know. So I did it for that, to see if there was any kind of stuff. But outside, this comes off, the glasses come off. Literally, I don't even wear them. I I have a straw hat. I've worn in some of my videos the straw hat. It's literally a $6 straw hat from Hobby Lobby. They had them the one day I saw them, and I'm like, you know, I could use something for when I'm working in the sun. So I got it, $7, so I wear that. But getting back, Chef Zed asked, I guess I am an Aquarius. I was born in January. I am an Aquarius, I believe. But anyways, Rich, Brian, getting back to that. Yeah, Brian kind of, the way my grandson took to Brian's music, and he's watched a lot of people on this list. He's special needs, but he's watched and listened and smiles at your guys' videos. Most of the ones I interact with a lot, like Allison and Paula and some of the other ones, I'm at a loss right now, but we watch them all the time, once a week, all the time together. If he's up during the night, we watch videos. And so he watches a lot of your videos and, you know, interacts. And then when like I said, when he saw Brian's video, he kind of likes, it soothes him, kind of likes that music. Busy After 60, yes, thank you. Allison and Paula and, man, I'm terrible with names. But anyways, so that's why I like Brian's stuff. I like his music. And he's kind of the one that it inched me back to get, yeah, it is, to get back into music. Not to sing or not, I don't sing, I can't sing, I can barely talk. But to get back into just playing the guitar, because playing a guitar is very, it takes so much concentration, it's soothing, it's actually relaxing. And so when I'm alone sometimes, I'll just sit on the chair outside on the porch. That's gonna be another video. I build stuff in my wood shop. I made two, I call them hurricane and tornado proof rocking chairs. I've showed them, I'll release the video. I'll see if I can find it tonight on Okies Eden and release it. They're about 80 pounds a piece. They're out of 2x6s and 2x4s. I made them because in Oklahoma, in the spring, if you have any kind of outside chair, a deck chair or whatever, it blows them off every time. You'll go out in the morning, you're picking chairs up. I don't care if it's regular, I don't care if it's wood patio furniture that you get from the hardware store, or an Adirondack chair. If it's only 20 pounds or what, it's off in the grass. And I finally said, you know what, I'm done. I'm building some chairs that will never blow off the porch again, and they have not blown off yet. And I'll show those. I have some pictures of the process on how I did it. They're all my design. They're two different designs because I designed the backs a little bit different, one for me and one for my wife, just so they would differ. And then we bought some foam and bought the cushions for them, and we made the cushions. Okay, let's see, rustic. What did Brian say? Let's, hold on a second, time out. Hold on, I'm throwing the flag. Brian put a note on here. Let's see what Brian says. Hang on, brother. I am honored that your special needs grandson likes my music. He does. Oh, wow. Well, good for you. I'm not a caretaker specifically, but I help out with him all the time. I do therapy with him every other day or so. I take him to therapy a lot of times. I do all of his physical stuff and occupational stuff. A lot, not all of it, a lot of it. And that's why I stay home, is to help with him. But thank you. I'm glad, Rustic. There's one other channel, Rustic, while we're talking about it. Down the line is dealing with special needs children and being a grandparent or a parent. And I'm thinking about maybe next year, not this year, there's too much going on, but next year I'm thinking about starting a channel for parents, grandparents, caretakers, people that deal every single day with someone they love that's a special needs. And to have an area where they can blow off steam. I don't care what they say, as long as they keep it where it won't get, flagged by YouTube. But if they want to cry, yell, scream, decompress, talk about their issues, have a group of people around them that can just listen and know what they're going through, I'm thinking about doing that. I don't care. I don't care if that ever got monetized. That's not even the issue for there. I know what I go through every day, and I know what my wife goes through, and I know what my son and daughter-in-law go through. And to have a spot where they could go watch other people going through the same thing might be a help. So I don't know if you think about that, but that would be interesting. But yes, just so you know, he does listen to your music with me, and that's what kind of got me hooked on your channel. So anybody that wants to follow Rustic Rich, Brian, I recommend him highly. Not only for that music, but when you see, um, when you, I haven't told him this yet, but I'll tell him now so he can be surprised. He reminds me a little bit of Charlie Daniels also. I told him once, if he was an octave lower, the first time a couple songs I heard of his, he reminded me of Johnny Cash in a way. The sound, the string, the way the strings rung, vibrated and stuff. Everybody has a different sound. His sounded a little bit like Johnny Cash, but he also, I attempted to have a channel like that 3 times. YouTube just kept me under wraps. Really? Hey, Chris, thank you very much. I'm going to go back and check you out later. Do a live again soon, please. I hope everything works out at your new job. Okay, I'm going to check with YouTube on that, Brian, and see why that's such an issue. There is a huge need for a spot where people that deal with special needs people, kids or adults, if you're dealing with somebody like that, there should be an outlet for that. If YouTube doesn't like that or doesn't allow that, that's kind of ignorant on my part, in my eyes. Yeah, everybody here, go check each other out because, like I said, and then go down in the comments. Tell me what your website is, what your channel is about. Give others a chance to show up later that didn't make the live. And give them a chance to go follow you and look at your channel and see if they want to follow your content. We can have serious conversations about those 2 gentlemen and a few others. What 2 gentlemen? I guess I must have missed something. Yes, introvert. Our community is really, really cool. But yeah, but Brian, like I said, thank you very much. Brian's the one that got me back to get a guitar because he mentioned the one day, why don't you get a guitar? Why don't you go play? Why don't you do something? He told me to do some jokes with a guitar. And I'm thinking about doing that. My first joke was going to be, Brian, after you told me that, to do jokes with the guitar was being on a ladder, up on like a step ladder with my guitar, strum through like a G chord and say, I play guitar on a ladder because I want to hit the high notes. Boom, boom, that's a dad joke. Oh, I see. Okay. I guess mine, introvert, me or Brian. No, I was not self-taught. I took lessons for 2 or 3 years. I can't read. I know the different chords, what they're called, but to read music on a chart, I can't. I don't know what Brian's background is. Oh, Chef said, yeah, you're going to like Introvert in Alaska. Some beautiful scenery up there, too. Johnny Cash and Daniels, yes. Johnny Cash and Charlie Daniels, yes. That's what I was going to say. With your beard and stuff, sometimes when you got your head down, you got your hat on, there's I grew up on Charlie Daniels. So when I saw that, I'm like, that's Charlie Daniels. Do it, yeah. So I think I'm going to eventually do it. I'm not going to do so much. Oh, introvert. No. I don't play by ear. I play by tablature. So what they do is they have these guys out there, or not guys, but they have these people. They'll put what finger goes where on what string and what fret, and what string to pick when. That's how I do it. I do not play by ear. I took lessons from a girl years ago. She was great. She had a master's in music theory and all that. And I went in. I wanted to play rock and roll music immediately. I didn't want to sit there. So tablature allows you to play some songs. Oh yeah, thank you, Brian. Yeah, where to read music theory that's so different than just trying to play. No, I don't play by ear. I know about 10 chords, and the finger positioning for those. And I know a few bar chords. So I find I find songs that allow me to use those chords and use tablature like Brian was saying. But she was trying to teach me to read music for 6 months. She was like, why are you having trouble? She was getting mad at me. She was like, why are you having trouble? I'm done here. I said, I'm done. I can't read music. I told her I don't want to read music. I want to play today. She goes, well, you're talking tablature. Well, then show me tablature. And she's like, I don't do tablature. I said, well, then I guess I'm not taking lessons from you anymore. And it was lighthearted. It wasn't it wasn't an angry confrontation. It was funny. She knew, jokingly, she's like, what is so hard about reading music? And I'm like, well, you took freaking 6 years of this in college. You're trying to show me 6 years of college in 2 weeks. I don't even want to read music. I don't care. I just want it to sound cool. But Natty, oh really? Natty Homemaker. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I'm working up. I'm sure Rich, he'll tell you when you play, especially the steel string guitars, not nylon so much, but steel, you'll get calluses. Mine are starting to work out. I bet you if you check Rich's tips of his fingers, he hardly even feels the strings anymore because they get calluses on them. Electric is so much easier with that because, you only got to push down a little bit because it's all done by the pickups and stuff. Yeah, she didn't have to, and she was a nice person. She was a great person. She knew music inside. She knew theory. She was trying to teach me that, and maybe up front, I didn't express what I wanted. I wanted to learn how to play songs each week. And this other guy he's a rock and roll. He plays in our local band. I'm like, can you show me how to do this? And he's like, it was $10 a week. I'll teach you whatever song you want. So he taught me all these songs. It was awesome. But yeah, but so again, getting back to real quick, just doing a quick reverse. I'm going to be getting back into my videos. I'm going to be posting more gardening videos on this channel since I'm doing this as a test channel more anyways. So I want to start posting because some people miss that. I get questions all the time, when are you going to post videos on your garden and harvesting? I'm getting back to that. I got away when I was doing the indoor garden. I still do that stuff, and I'll do an update on that. I'm going to replant. I already harvested that stuff. So I got some decent potatoes out of those potato bags, and now I'm starting a second batch so I can grow them through the winter. So I'm going to do that. And then we're going to be doing some different lives and stuff with different people. And I might even do some guitar stuff. So introvert, I've kind of hidden them. I've privatized them. I'm going to start releasing them again over the next few days. But yeah, no, I have a garden. Okies Eden, the whole basis of Okies Eden, give me 1 second. Got some, gotta have my Mountain Dew, they had it on sale. Yes, I do gardening, introvert, and Natty Homemaker, yes. I grow potatoes in buckets. I grow them in bags. I grow them in the ground. I did towers. I grow potatoes anywhere I can possibly grow potatoes. Introvert, I will start releasing some videos, so just keep your eye open on this channel. Maybe tomorrow I'll start going back to those videos. I might have to update them a little bit for sound and maybe put some music behind them, because at that point I didn't know how to use an editor, and now I have the KineMaster, the full version. So I can put music to them and then do some edits and stuff. I'm going to start releasing them again. They've already been released. It's just a matter of taking the privatization or unlisted part off and then re-releasing them. But yes, I will. So keep your eyes open. I do everything from taking potatoes from Walmart that are sprayed with a retardant so they don't make eyes or sprouts, how to rinse off the sprouts, so how to rinse off the potatoes so they will sprout, then chitting the potatoes where the get the sprouts to start, to cutting the potatoes in half, scabbing them over before planting them, to planting them in bags, to planting them in the ground. If you go, introvert, are you part of my @Okies Hustle? If you're not part of @Okies Hustle, just type in @Okies Hustle, one word, it'll take you to my new channel where I do YouTube growth stuff. I put some stuff in the community posts of me actually turning the potatoes over and just doing an analogy how growing on YouTube's like a garden. You know, you have to water it, you have to nurse it to health, you have to keep on it, you have to keep working. It doesn't just happen overnight. You literally have to work at YouTube growth like a garden. And I show me turning the potatoes over. So you'll see those are Yukon Gold potatoes. So right now I have 70 plants. Next week, doing my live from my garden with my cell phone. So I'm harvesting. I just increased my garden because I'm doing pumpkins next. Once I harvest my whole garden, I'm growing pumpkins for Halloween so I can give them out to the community that I have here so they don't have to go to the store and pay $8. I'm just gonna ask if they can give me $1 or $2 for seed stuff for next year. I'm gonna grow a bunch of pumpkins so their kids can come to my house, cut the pumpkin that they want, take it home, cut it open, use it. Whatever's left, I'm gonna make a pumpkin bisque and freeze it. But that's after the harvest in the summer. I have baby reds, Yukon Golds, russets, and some kind of seed potato. I don't even know what variety they are. But I have 70 more plants. Potatoes are not hard to grow. Potatoes are the easiest plant in the world to grow. And I'm gonna show that next week. I did a short video that anybody can grow potatoes. Anybody can grow potatoes. So I went out in my backyard. I dug 6 inches down, took the grass up, dug down 6 inches. I threw 10 potatoes in the ground. I threw dirt on top, threw water on them. And those plants are 18 inches high now, and I'm gonna harvest those next month. And I did the post and it says, anybody can grow potatoes. I didn't give them no fertilizer. It's just literally Oklahoma dirt, native Oklahoma dirt, turned for the first time, throw potatoes in and cover it. And you'll see that. And I'm going to show that. And I have probably 40 videos of my garden stuff. So I'm going to start, like I said, I'm going to start releasing that every day because I want to start getting back into that. I missed that because I had so many comments and people saying, you know, why did you stop doing that? Because I was trying something with the jokes, and I'm still going to do the jokes because jokes are easy. I can do 1 hour where I can do 10 or 15 jokes. And then within 2 hours, I can edit, upload, and schedule for the next 2 weeks and not have to touch YouTube for 2 weeks on jokes. They're all scheduled, ready to go. So they're easy. That's why I like to do those. And then I can go back on my other channel where I have to do more of a sit down and think about stuff and script it and stuff. So yes, how did you start doing jokes? I've been doing jokes since I was a kid. Yes, Nicola, you can grow in pots. Just make sure there's some small holes in them to let the water drain. Too much water, you'll get potato rot. So just poke some holes in the bottom. Put your potatoes in. After they're sprouted, I'll put the video on, watch my video. When it sprouts, it's called chitting, C-H-I-T-T-I-N-G. I'm not saying the bad word, I'm saying chitting. It's an old word. And what it means is the eyes from the potato will sprout, and then you chit them. And then they grow. When they get about 3/4 of an inch, put about 3 inches of dirt down, put the potatoes in the dirt, cover them. When they sprout again, cover them a little more, then don't touch them, just water them. They're gonna grow, and they'll fill up that dirt with the potatoes, okay? And then just make some, maybe you wanna add more dirt next time, I don't know. Introvert, so as a child, I'm one of 9. So I guess all that psychology behind the middle child trying to get attention, maybe that's true, I don't know. Or maybe I'm just a jerk. I don't know, I have to have attention. But no, when I was a child, especially when I became 10, 11, 12 years old, we used to live next to a big creek, and we used to swim in the creek all summer. So me and my 2 older brothers, Natty, I'm going to load the video. You'll see in a day or two pop up on my Okies Eden site on chitting potatoes, splitting potatoes, planting potatoes. And then just watch the live next week and I'll talk about potatoes. But getting back to introvert in Alaska, we used to go to the creek and swim. We dammed it up and we swam. And me and my two older brothers, we would go down there and we would tell jokes to each other. So we'd be down there swimming, and then one would tell the joke, and then two would bend down and then suck in a bunch of water into their mouth. And you'd have a mouthful of water. And then the other one would start telling jokes. And then the first one, the water came out, they lost. So typically you'd get going, you tell a joke, and then somebody would laugh and they'd spit the water out. And then the winner that didn't spit it out, he told the next joke. So then the person that told the joke and the one that spit it out would have to suck in water, and then they would tell a joke, and then whoever spit the water out first lost again. And then just ever since then, I've just always, for some reason, my mind works that way. I like puns. If I'm in the garden, I see a pun. Just talking to people, if somebody says something, it clicks in my mind, you know. And yes, Natty Homemaker, that is viral on TikTok, where you got one person that they call them the challenges. And that's what's funny. I had a guy accused, because I did a couple like that just myself, just jokingly. I didn't even know about that other stuff. It's just stuff I remember as a kid. And he goes, oh, you're just stealing stuff from these guys. I'm like, I responded back to him like, dude, I'm basically 60 years old. When I was 10 years old, 50 years ago, me and my brothers did that in the creek. So if anybody's copying anybody, they're copying me. You know, I mean, even YouTube tells you, what does YouTube tell you? If you go on, you see the creators page they have on in the dashboard, they tell you to go follow and go look at these other big YouTubers and glean information and topics and how they do the video, their lighting, their video technique, the way they tell a joke or whatever, and use that and copy it. Basically what the people were saying was, you copied these people. No, there's been comedians around for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. They had court jesters back 1,000 years ago. Chef Zed, goodbye. I'm very glad you showed up. Chef Zed's gonna do a live here soon again. Please watch Chef Zed's live. See you later, Chef. I'll be watching. Watch when I harvest my green beans. So anyways, yeah, Chef Zed's awesome. She's top notch. She's top shelf. If you're a drinker, top shelf means really good. Just go watch her sometime. You're right. Yes, Natty, exactly. Joke comedians, the way jokes are presented, anything. That's like saying you're copying the carpenter the way you build a house. Of course I am. That's the code. If you live in any county in the United States that has zoning codes and building codes, you're copying somebody because you have to. That to me is a nonsensical comment. It's like, what it ended up being was, it was a person, when I checked them out, they had absolutely zero subscribers, and they had, they only are on YouTube to watch YouTubes and troll. That's what they do. So anytime you're being trolled or somebody, I always go to their webpage because I want to see, number one, are they a content creator, or are they a troll? If they have, 100 views or 100 videos and 100 subscribers, and you look at their content, they're a content creator. I don't mind them if they come on and are, sorry about that, and respectful. But these people that come on that have no subscribers and they literally just have their channel to troll, they get an instant block. I don't mess with those guys. They're worthless. All I want to do, like I said before, if they want to be a content creator, everybody I have that subscribes to me, and all the people I subscribe to, if those people that are trolling went to those people that I know and said, hey, I'm going to start a channel, would you follow me? They would follow them, even if they're a dumb troll, if they would just stop their nonsense. But no, they're one of those people that just have to They want to be a troll. They don't like their life. They don't like their situation. So they're going to go treat somebody else like garbage to make them feel bad. So they just get blocked. They don't bother me. I could care less. Yeah, they're not brave enough. Exactly, that is exactly it. Because content creation takes work, it takes time, it takes discipline. You have to put content out. You have to do all that stuff. Exactly, introvert, block them. I just block them. I close them down from the channel, then I go to their page first and I block them, then I just get rid of them. Nobody has time for that. Content creation's like a job. I mean, if you want to really be successful, anybody that edits videos doesn't just go to the video and just say, oh, it takes me 5 minutes to edit this 2-hour video. It doesn't work that way. You know, it's work. And to build a channel and stuff. But yeah, so again, I mentioned this earlier before some of you guys were here, but tomorrow night on my other channel, Okies Hustle, I have a 10-minute video on 2 mistakes I made that really hurt my channel early on. If you want to go watch that, I appreciate it. That's fine. That's great. If you don't, no worries. And then next week I have 1 minute-and-a-half video that I left as a long form that is some garden analogies that talks about my apple tree and how it acts like YouTube, my potato plant, a cucumber plant, my green beans, how you can like make an analogy between them and YouTube. That's going to come out next week, and then I made it segmented so I can take each one and make a quick short. So it's a 10-second or a 15-second video on why growing a potato is like YouTube, growing cucumbers is like a YouTube video, so on and so forth, and analytics and all that stuff. Just a really quick thing. That's coming out next week. I'm going to have 5 more joke videos next week for this channel here. I'm doing a live probably from this channel on my garden on Monday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon. I have my grandson Tuesday night. So it's either going to be Monday, I can't do it Tuesday because I go over there and then spend the night with him and don't get home till late morning. And then it would be Tuesday afternoon. I'm going to show me harvesting some potatoes, some green beans, hopefully some radishes, talking about the garden, talking about my YouTube channels and answering questions. Then, I've mentioned this on the other live the other day, after my garden is harvested, by mid to late June, my garden will be harvested. It'll be a blank slate. I'm planting pumpkins this year. And I'm going to do a live from the pumpkin patch, hopefully a couple of them, from the pumpkin patch. When you see the pumpkins growing, the orange pumpkins coming out. And I want to do something pre-Halloween, but it won't be released till maybe Halloween Eve or maybe Halloween. And I want to kind of theme it like Snoopy and stuff, where it's the great pumpkin coming out of the, oh, thank you, Rustic. Thank you, Rich. Thank you. So it's going to be like the great pumpkin, like Charlie Brown talks about the great pumpkin, or Linus. The great pumpkin rising up out of the pumpkin patch. And then I want my community to be able to just come out and pick for their kids. Come out, pick the pumpkin you want so you can go home and carve it up. Give it to your chickens, give it to your deer when you're done, when it starts to, decompose. Toss it outside, let the deer have it. The deer love it, chickens love it. So I'm going to do that, and then I want to do a few from that. And then hopefully tomorrow or the next day, not only, so earlier in the year we had a severe wildfire and almost got to our house. Everybody around us, no houses were harmed. All the woods, all the grass, some gazebos, some workshops were burned. It was really bad. They had 14 fire stations here. There was 6 different wildfires, 80-mile-an-hour winds. They had them in our driveway, ready to fight the fire coming our way, and they finally got it stopped. I have pictures of that. I have some video footage of that. I'm going to post that on my Okies site, my Okies Hustle. And then once I do that, so you guys can see the damage and how black everything was and burned, then I'm going to do a walk around my road, because it's 1.5 miles around by my house, this area. 70% of that 1.5 mile diameter was burned, 70%. Thankfully, nobody lost any homes. Fire companies were awesome. First responders get a thumbs up. They had 14 companies here fighting the fire. We were down in Texas visiting my daughter. We weren't even home. We couldn't make it home in time. It just happened. There was lightning storm. There was a pole taken down that had a transformer. They were all over my area. 70% of the area where I live was burned. Not one home was touched. The fire company really did a good job. Can't praise them enough. Did a great job. I'm gonna post those photos, and then I'm gonna do a walk around when I'm doing a live and show you how quickly nature can restore itself. Within a week and a half, the grass was already greening, the trees are greening. Nature is very powerful. The natural state of the earth. You can destroy part of it and you think it's gone. You know, you can go out and throw something on the grass and kill it. It'll kill it for a while. It'll come back. Those weeds will come back. You're not going to stop them. That's just a, you know, you look at Chernobyl, places like that, they had this nuclear, and you go there now and it's just all overrun by plants again. I mean, it's crazy what the world can take. Not that I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying the world, you know, the earth, the ground, all that stuff regenerates and grows. So I'm going to show the videos and pictures on Okies Hustle. And then when I do my walk around, I'm going to show those exact areas and how they're green again. You wouldn't even know, you would not know that in March there was wildfires. I mean, I'm talking wildfires. Trees on green trees, green growing trees on fire. That's how bad it was. But yeah, we're safe. Everybody's good. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm going to show that because I think people find interest in that. And I'll do some community posts. I'll try to put together some kind of a video or something. But I'm hoping everybody will watch that. And like I said, stay tuned next week. We're going to really start hitting the gardening again. Probably tonight, now that I'm on the topic, I'm going to start releasing some of those gardening videos tonight so people can watch them. I feel kind of bad because I started that niche and then I started doing jokes too. The joke one started taking off, so I kind of like, I'm going to head this way. I had to narrow the niche to get views and time and all that stuff and subscribers. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to go back to my roots. I want to do gardening. That's what I want to do. So stay tuned for that. With that said, I have to go. It's been, wow, 97 minutes. Well, before I go, let me ask this. Does anybody have any questions for me about Okies Eden, Okies Hustle, myself? Anything I can answer? Let me answer that before I go, because there's some people that are here that haven't been to a live with me before. So I'll answer what I can. Some things I can't, but I will. So if you have a question for me, ask me a question right now. I'll try to answer it for you. You guys think of a question while I take a sip of my Mountain Dew. Dollar General Mountain Dew, 4 6-packs for $13. Introvert, do you do lives? I haven't really seen. Have you done a live yet? Okies. Okay. Okies is a nickname for Oklahomans. So in the United States, if you're from Oklahoma, you're called Okie. Eden is from the Garden of Eden. If you remember, if you've ever read the Bible, whether you believe the Bible or not isn't the issue. I'm not talking religion. And the Bible is called the Garden of Eden. Beautiful place, you know, perfect, wonderful. In memory of my dad, who died of Alzheimer's, he was a gardener. That's who I learned from. And one of 9, we had to grow our own food because we were poor. And I've always wanted to have my own gardens in memory of my dad. And I wish my dad was here so he could see my garden because he'd be proud of me and he'd probably say something, and I wish he could be here to tell me. But so I took Okies and Eden. So Okies being an Oklahoman and the Garden of Eden. I want this to be my own Garden of Eden. So Okies Eden, that's how I came up with it. Okies, I like Okies because, my first name is Jason. My first name is Jason. Thank you, Rustic Rich. Thank you, Brian. Goodbye, Brian. And Introvert. I think it was either Merle Haggard or Waylon Jennings. I'm not gonna get this right. One of those two did. Okie from Muskogee. Muskogee is a town in a city in Oklahoma. So Okie, nickname for an Oklahoman, and I'm just an Okie from Muskogee. So he's just an Oklahoman from Muskogee, Oklahoma. He did that song. Oh, hey, Charla. Charla's here. Everybody, if you don't. I'm going to stick around for a minute because I'm going to stick around for a few minutes because Charla's here. If you don't follow Charla, follow Charla. You guys are talking about my garden like it's something special. It's not. It's a nice garden. It's a workable garden. If you want to see a garden, go visit August Creek Farmhouse. Go see her spot. Go see her website. Color, flowers. She has ducks and chickens. Oh my goodness. She has one of the most beautiful properties in the world. I would go check her out. See you later, Brian. Thank you so much for being here. I'm looking forward to your live. Charla is, yes, Nicola, Charla is amazing. Her and her husband, Scott. My favorite, I'm not going to try to embarrass Charla here, but my favorite video of Charla's is the short. I mean, I like all of her videos. This isn't dissing her other videos. Her video where her and Scott bought the Introvert. Thank you very much. No problem. Please do a live. I know you have introvert and Alaska. I know you have problems with that. If you can, I guarantee you, people will watch. I will watch. You just tell us when you're going to be there. We will support you, and we're going to continue supporting your channel. Anybody that doesn't follow Introvert in Alaska, please follow her. She's a really great person, and her videos, her scenery with those mountains in Alaska are just unbelievable. But August Creek Farmhouse, Charla, her and her husband Scott, right? Scott, am I right? I'm pretty sure it's Scott. She did a video where they, he's older now, he's looking elsewhere, and it ends up being, instead of like it being another woman, it's a tractor. And I knew, just knowing her site, it wasn't another woman. I knew it was something else, but still you didn't know what it was until you see him getting up on the tractor. So that's my favorite video of hers. So she probably doesn't know that, but she does now. But I have her and most of the other people that I really, sometimes I forget, but the ones I follow the most, I try to hit the notification bell. So whenever something comes up, I get to see them. But her property, it's like Better Homes and Gardens. It should be in Better Homes and Gardens. Oh yeah, no. And she lives in my old stomping grounds when I lived down in, I was in Northeast Texas for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years maybe. Yeah, 10 years. Because I lived in McKinney, Texas, I lived in Salina, Texas, and I live in Prosper, Texas. But we had motorcycles, and the church we belonged to had a group of guys families, husbands and wives that rode motorcycles. So we ended up, for years, going to barbecue joints all over Oklahoma. We went all the way out. I did the steak. What is it? It's in Texas. It's the Big Ranch Steakhouse. 72 ounce steak. It's in George Strait did a song. It's out past Wichita Falls by Groom, Texas. Oh my goodness. What town, what city is that? Not Abilene, not Abilene. Anyways, Big Ranch Steakhouse has a 72-ounce steak challenge. We rode our motorcycles all the way out to there for me to do the steak challenge. But we did that, then we rode to Oklahoma City. It was a 1,000-mile round trip on our motorcycles. We did it over 2 days. We were tired. I mean, you put a bunch of old people on motorcycles for 1,000 miles, you have no idea how that ends. But bye, Nicola. Thank you so much for showing up. I look forward to your next live, or your live tomorrow or Sunday. Remind us, please do a live. Do a live. Tell Nicola, everybody, she wants to do a live. We need her to do a live. But Charla, how are you guys doing? Did you guys make through the storms and everything? We've had thunderstorms again. Just so you know, I'm doing a live on Monday or Wednesday from my Okies Eden site. I'm going to do it out in my garden. I'm going to harvest some potatoes. I'm going to harvest some green beans and hopefully my radishes. And then I'm going to literally have my chair in my garden by my trellises, looking back over my shoulder, and then I can answer questions and talk. If somebody wants to see another picture, I'll get up and with my cell phone, I can flip the screen so they can see my pumpkin plants or my cucumbers that are growing up the trellis. You convinced me. I can't remember the name of the grape. I think it was the grapes. Is it the grapes you did? Was it you that talked about the grapes on your, not trellis, but you did a thing. Yes, muscadine. Okay. I was going to try something else. I was thinking about doing ivy or something like that, but I'm like, you know what? Why wouldn't I do, it's a garden. Why wouldn't I do something I can harvest? So I'm going to do some kind of grape, muscadine. Well, let's see, you're Texas, so we're in the same zone. So they should grow here, fine. So I think on my trellises next year, I'm going to do muscadine or some grape. I just finished fixing the one area of fencing. It's about 20 foot of fence. I'm going to make that for grapes. And then when I build my third trellis, that's also going to be grapes. And then I'm going to connect all 3 trellises with a top piece so I can get the vines, train them to grow around, down by the apple trees and around. And because I want it to be shaded with apple trees. And I joke around and call it Lazy Man, the Lazy Man's garden. I have asparagus growing this year. They were 2-year crowns. Scuppernongs, really? What? Chardonnay. I don't like Chardonnay wine, so I won't do Chardonnay. Okay, Concord grapes I love. I might do Concords, but I'm not a Chardonnay drinker. So I probably would just avoid those. But Concord I love, so I'd probably do Concord grapes. Maybe I'll do that. But it's definitely going to be grapes. Because I'm trying to, I did 8 asparagus plants. They were 2-year crowns. They said I could harvest this year, but I didn't. I let them fern out because I was reading somebody else. They said if you put, even if they're 2-year crowns, let them go a year. Let them fern out. Let them take all the photosynthesis and all that stuff from the sun. Get a really strong root system, and then just wait till next year. Just be patient. So next spring, I'm planting 8 or 12 more plants. I'm gonna have a whole area of just asparagus. So I'm gonna have close to 20 asparagus plants, crowns planted. And then they're good for 10, 15, 20 years. My apple trees, I'm gonna try to plant 2 more next year. I already have 2 this year. So I'll have 4 apple trees that are all different varieties, so they cross-pollinate. And then grapes, and I want to do blackberries or raspberries, one or the other, because what I'm trying to get to is I want to be able to grow stuff in my garden, but then I want stuff that is perennial. I don't have to worry about planting every year. So I can go out in the fall and I can pick apples. In the late summer, I can pick my berries, or I can pick clips, asparagus, whatever. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to close this down in a minute because I'm going to head off to bed because I'm getting up early because we got a lot of work to do around Okies Eden, and I know August Creek has a lot of work to be done tomorrow too. So thank you all very much for showing up. Thank you for the time you spent with me. Thank you for the support. Thank you for your subscriptions, comments, all of that stuff. I appreciate it, and I'll be seeing you. You're going to be seeing more of my gardening videos coming up as I start to re-release them. They've already been released. I just have to unprivatize them. So keep your eyes open for those. They're early videos of mine, so they're bad, but just bear with me. They get better. Everybody, just you take care. I will see you in the next live. Thank you very much.